Hey guys, it's Kara from iStampin.com. Thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel for a brand new series that I'm calling Step It Up. And what this is, or what Step It Up means, is I'm going to show you the same card with 3 different versions. So this is the card right here that I'm going to show you how I made, is for your beginner, your very basic stamper. Then I'm going to step it up to what I call a more casual stamper, so it has a little bit more technique. And then the third is going to be my advanced stamper, so your avid stamper. And I just want to show you how you can take a very simple design and just add a few elements and really make it pop if you're a more seasoned stamper. So I thought that doing a Christmas card would be perfect for this. So I am using the Piece This Christmas stamp set, which you can find in our annual catalog, along with the This Christmas Designer Series paper. So these two items are in a collection, so the stamp and the Designer Series paper coordinate. So let's get started. I've got everything all packaged up. I thought it would be really easy to do it that way, and I think I hope you like it. Let me know what you think about this. All right, so the first thing that we are starting out with is a piece of early espresso cardstock, which I've cut down to 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored this at 4 1/4. So it's just our traditional A2 size card. And take your bone folder, and on that score mark, burnish it well. The next thing you're going to want to do is to get out your Designer Series paper. I'm using this really pretty diagonal stripe. The colors are very vanilla, cherry cobbler, and garden green. And this just measures a 1/4 inch smaller. So this is 5 1/4 by 4. And we are just going to put snail on the back and adhere this to the front panel. Just like so. Okay. Then the next thing that you're going to do is just grab a piece of very vanilla cardstock. I've got this 3 inches wide. The reason why is because I am going to be using the layering circle framelits, and I am using the circle framelit that measures, it looks like it's about 2.5 inches in diameter on the inside, and so 3 inches of cardstock is plenty for me to run this through the Big Shot. And I'm going to get the stamp that says Peace, Joy, and Love, and I'm going to ink that up using Early Espresso. So grab your ink pad, and then just come right here, stamp it. And then what you're going to do is just take this on over to the Big Shot, like I said, and go ahead and die cut that out. Okay, so that's what it looks like when I've die cut it out. Super easy. The next thing you're going to do is to grab a piece of garden green cardstock, and this measures 1 inch by 4.5 inches. And I'm going to use our banner triple punch to notch both ends. So I'm just going to slide it in to that 1 inch channel and just notch both ends. Super easy. And then the circle will just layer right there on top of the banner. So let's just go ahead and put a little snail right here. And then just make sure we've got the circle placed on there where it's the same amount on the top and the bottom. Looks good. And then what we're going to do is just put a little bit of snail on the back of this part, and then just stick it down on the front of the card. And the very first basic card is all done. So you can see how quick and easy that came together. And you know, for a first-time stamper, not too advanced, nothing too scary that will say, I don't ever want to do this again. Hopefully this will make you say, I want to try the next one. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the second card. That is going to be for our casual stamper. So I've already kind of put some of the elements together. So the same thing, 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock scored at 4 1/4, and then the same size piece of designer series paper, so 5 1/4 by 4, and I've already put this down on the card. And then the other thing that's different with this one is you are going to want to use your largest scallop circle from the layering circles and go ahead and die cut a piece from our gold foil sheets. And we're going to use that. That's going to be one of the pieces that we step it up with. The next thing that you're going to want to do is to get a piece of garden green cardstock. This measures 1 inch by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to do the same thing that we did on the first card, just notch both ends using the punch. Okay, and we're going to be layering that on just a little bit later. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do to step this up is to use 3 different colors on the stamp to give that to give the sentiment just a little bit of pop. I'm going to be using the colors from the designer series paper and the cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and use Early Espresso again, Cherry Cobbler, and Garden Green. And if you've been watching my videos this fall, you'll see that I've done this using the Misty. It's really easy, and I really love this technique. If you have the Stampin' Up markers, you can do the exact same thing. Okay, so I am going to cover up part of the stamp that I don't want to get ink on with some Post-it note tape, and I'm going to use Garden Green to ink up piece first. Okay, and so what you want to do is just make sure you get good coverage and make sure that you remove the Post-it tape. And if you get a little bit of ink like I did right here, just take a baby wipe or whatever you're using and just wipe that off. Okay, and I'm just going to close the lid. Okay, and so now I'm just going to clean this off. Now go ahead and cover up piece and get some more Post-it note tape and cover up Love. And now I'm going to come in with my Cherry Cobbler and ink up the Joy and. Okay, again, remove the Post-it tape and close the lid. All right. And then the very last thing that we're going to do is to ink up Love using Early Espresso. And this again is just a way just to step up the stamping from what we did with the first card. It's a very simple technique. It's a fun technique that really adds a pop of color, which I love to do. Just going to wipe this off, hopefully without taking any of the ink off from the Love. There we go. And then just close the lid. And there you see how we have 3 different colors. Just a very easy technique. Like I said, you can use your Stampin' Up markers and do this just the same way. Actually, if you have the Stampin' Up markers, you can do it all at once. Just color in each word separately and stamp it all at the same time. All right, so the other thing that I'm going to do to step this up is I am going to be using our brand new Stitched Shapes framelits. Those, if you saw my newsletter and blog post last week, this is a brand new product that Stampin' Up has released. You can see we've got squares on the other side. This, and I'm going to be using the largest circle to cut that out. This product is actually going to be in our 2016-2017 annual catalog, which debuts in June, but you can actually get this product during the month of November. They wanted to release this early. It's only through November, and there are coordinating stamp sets that we currently have that coordinate, I guess that's kind of redundant, with the stitch shapes that you can get 25% off. And I'll link all that information in the description box as well as today's blog post. So I'm going to take this on over to the Big Shot and I'm going to show you how cute the stitching is and just a nice little added element that it gives to this circle. I was so excited when Stampin' Up! Released this. So can you see that stitching? It's just a very subtle element, but it just is, I love it. I think it just makes it look so, there's just something about it that just kind of finishes it off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals just to give it a little lift. And then we'll put this on the scalloped circle that we cut out in the gold foil sheets. So you just want to make sure that all your scallops are showing equally around your circle. Okay, let's go ahead and attach the scallop circle to the banner. Again, making sure that you're putting it on where it's the same amount top and bottom. And then we can go ahead and come in and now attach this to the card base. And there we have it. So this is more for a casual stamper, a little bit more technique than the first card, but still not too difficult. None of these cards are difficult, but you know what I mean. Just take a little bit more time stamping out the sentiment and adding that extra dimension with the stitched frames, with the stitch shapes framelit, and then adding that really pretty gold scallop circle behind it. Okay, so let's go on to the third and final card, and this is going to be for our more avid stamper, our advanced stamper. Again, I've already taken care of some of the steps, but we're going to do this exact same thing as we did with the first and second card. So again, cardstock is the same size, 8.5 by 5.5, score it at 4 1/4. Attach your designer series paper, 5 1/4 by 4. And then we are going to do the exact same thing as we did on the second card, where you are going to cut out a scallop circle in the gold foil paper sheet, and then go ahead and do the exact same thing with the stamping, along with using the stitched shapes circle framelit. And again, we're going to go ahead and attach that using dimensionals. Okay, and we're just going to center that into the circle, making sure all the scallops are showing equally around it. So I've got the same size garden green cardstock as before, so this is 1 inch by 5 1/4 inches long, and just slide it into that 1 inch channel on the banner triple punch, and we're just going to attach that to the center. Okay, now the next step, this is going to be different. This is going to make it a little bit more advanced. What I've done is I have cut a piece of our cardstock vellum, which measures 2 by 5 1/4, and we're going to layer that right there in the center of the card. And I'm only going to put adhesive right here in the middle because this is going to cover it up. With vellum, you can see through your adhesive, so just attaching it right here in the middle is perfect because nobody will see that. The stamped element's going to hide it. Now I'm going to come in here and go ahead and attach the stamped element with the scallop circle, and make sure that's there unevenly. I've also die cut a bow right here using our mini treat bag thinlits. I've done that in cherry cobbler, so I've already done that for us. And I'm going to attach it right here using our fine tip glue pen. I love this, this adhesive for these really delicate type die cuts. It just works out perfectly. So it's got a really thin nozzle. Got some dried glue on it. There we go. It's got a really thin nozzle which helps with these small shapes. So just put a little bit of, dab just a little bit of glue all the way around. Whoops. Go. And I'm just going to put it here on the bottom right of the circle. Whoops. And when you use the fine tip glue pen, make sure that you put the lid on afterwards, because this does dry very quickly, and getting that needle, the cap, the little needle in the cap back into this bottle can be extremely difficult. Okay, and then to finish it off, I'm going to use my rhinestones, and I'm just going to put some randomly around the card just to give it a little bit of sparkle, and this card will be done. And there we have it. So that is the card for your more avid stamper, card for your more casual stamper, and then the same card for your beginner stamper. All right, guys, well, I hope you liked today's series. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Be sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get to 5,000 before the end of the year, and each one of you is so important to me and definitely counts. Also, be sure that you head on over to my blog, which is istampin.com, and sign up for my exclusive newsletter. All of the supplies that you will need to make these cards will be listed on my blog, as well as below on the in the description box, so you can always check either of those places to see which products that I used, and that will go straight to my Stampin' Up! Online store. All right, guys, have a fabulous day, and join me later this week for week 6. We're already on week 6 of 12 weeks of Christmas. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.